baadaye, kama nimekuwa nitete, keti baadaye, umeshaamua nimekuchagua, keti baadaye, kama nimekuwa nitete, keti baadaye, umeshaamua nimekuchagua. Ukizunguka tunabaki on hold, na siwezi ficha local man na kimbizo katunio.
Welcome guys. Today I'm going to show you how I made this game called Fast Nairobi. It was initially called Dereva, but I changed it to Fast Nairobi. So let me first explain what I use to make all my games. I use a game engine called Unity. It's here by the way. You can always get it for free. It's not even just about games. You can make games. If you're in transportation and manufacturing of cars, film and animation and architecture, anything, you can make anything with this. So this is the game engine that I use. The reason why I use it because it makes things look photorealistic, as you can see, and it's free. So go ahead, give it a try. And they have a very good offer. If you make your first, is it $3,000, they just take around 5%. So yeah, go ahead, try it. And yeah, so let's head back here. First thing that I did was, is that I created this small cutscene with the main cars of BMW. As you can see, I had no licensing for any of the cars I used, so I had to remove some of them. So let me first play the cutscene. Some of you may know it. I'll just play it so that you can hear it. This is how it came out. Okay, that is what it looks like. So the first thing the reason why I did this was, as everything is loading in the background, it's preparing everything, it's setting all the scenes, loading all the scenes. You can, instead of just waiting and sitting there, you can see something visual. That's why I did that. Now how I did this is just very simple. If I can just find the camera, let's search for the camera. Yes, so I created a camera. I created a camera inside the game, and it's very easy to actually create a camera. You just game object camera, that's all you have to do. And the camera is actually what you see, what the gamer sees inside the game. So this is a camera. I've got all these things. You don't need to worry about this first. Okay, so the first thing that I did was, if I just open a new animation tab, this one. Okay, so this animation, I will just make another game tab so that you can see what I'm saying. I'll keep it somewhere. Where should we keep it? Okay, I just keep it here. So this is what you see in the game, and then this is where you edit your stuff. So game, and then the scene where you can edit your stuff. So if I move this, you can see it's moving. So the camera is actually what you see. So what I did was, I created an animation for the camera so that in each and every single step it slowly moves closer and closer to the car till it's gone. So if I play this animation back, you will see that it's in frames, and when all these frames are combined together, it creates a good scene where you can view that you can see the car around as it pans, and in the process everything is loading in the background. The menus, the levels, and everything is loading in the background, slowly by slowly, till once it's done, it's going to now take you to the menu. So it's slowly panning like this. Yeah, so that's the first thing that I had done. Simple. Okay, so I'm taking it back there. So since you've already seen that was the first part, and then this road is just some simple Photoshop to make it more shiny. So yeah, don't worry about anything. The water is pretty much a pre-made asset that I'd used, and then all this is, yeah, it's just I just combined several assets together to make one big giant road. Okay, cool. Let me take you to the menu. Just find the menu. Okay, so this is the menu. The menu is pretty simple. So there is the font here. Let me just maximize so that you guys can see. There is a font here. Oh, by the way, there's something that I should have shown you. Let me come back to this one. So over here, so in this previous scene, in case you guys have realized the visuals look somehow nice. So what I did to do that is I added something called a post processing. It's like think of it like RTX in NVIDIA. So this is what makes all the graphics. As you can see, there's motion blur, there's anti-aliasing, all those stuff. If you're a gamer, you probably understand this. You know, all this stuff you just combine to make it look good. And as you can see, I set it to like a filmic kind of scene. That's how I did it. So as you can see, if I switch this off, this thing in here, this is actually what makes or breaks a game. If I switch this thing off, you will see the difference. See? Did you see the difference? Look. See how bad and plain it looks like? And then when it's on, it's the same perfect. So post-processing is pretty much easy. You can just get it from this package manager. Unity has its own stuff that you can use. So yeah, I'll make a separate video on how to do the post-processing. Yeah, those things can actually make or break a game. So let me look for, where were we? Yeah, the main menu. Even in the main menu, everything is affected by that post-processing. If I switch it off, see how plain it looks, and if I switch it on, okay. So the main menu, these are the main elements here. I muted all of them because I think my PC is going to crash if I launch all of them at once. So over here we've got the logo, first Nairobi, we've got the start, quit, controls, these are just buttons, and my logo here. That's simple to understand. All these were just made using Photoshop and then exported here. And then what else? So there's a video that plays, this video player, it plays a video in the background. It plays a video in the background, as you can see. Let me just wait for it to like. it play. Oh, I forgot to transcode it. Let me just do that quickly. So as it's I'm going to just wait for it to transcode, and then I'll probably come back. So let me just wait for it. Yeah. So meanwhile, while it's doing this, you need I would really recommend you guys to, if you're planning to make games, start with Unity. There's Unreal Engine. This one I use it when I'm making heavy games. It's not good for beginners though. It's not very good for beginners, but yeah, it's a really powerful engine. You can see how realistic this is. For starters, I would highly recommend Unity. It's really good. Though you'll have to persevere some coding. The way, if you're going to do gaming, if you're going to make games, you're going to become a game developer, you probably will never escape coding, because this uses a language called C#. You can use JavaScript, it's optional, but yeah, I would recommend C# if you're a beginner. C# it's really good. This engine, the reason why I'm not recommending it for beginners, but it's the one that made Fortnite. The reason why I would not recommend it for beginners is because it uses C++, and if you're a programmer and you know C++, it can be really taxing, especially on memory management. Yeah, there's some games I've had that have performance issues when I tried to, as a beginner, to make with C++. So yeah, that's what I would recommend. I'm still transcoding. Okay. So for coding, I use the simplest thing, just Visual Studio Code. I don't need anything heavy. It's called Visual Studio Code. Yep. And then for planning my game, I use Trello. Yeah. So those are the 4 things I use: Photoshop, Unity, Trello, and Visual Studio Code. I like Visual Studio Code because it's very nice, it's colorful, as you can see. It makes your code look neat, even though I'm not very neat with coding at times. Yeah. So yeah, it's a really vast thing. Yeah, so just wait for it to transcode. Oh, apologies guys, but not very good CPU for now. It is taking some time here. In case you're wondering where I can get my games, it's called Game Jolt. It's like a Netflix for games. This is where I publish everything. Every single game that I probably made is either in the Play Store or here. If it's here, it's mostly PC. So let me just show you. Developer games. Okay, so I've got around 5 games in total. This is my upcoming one, so you better check it out. It's going to be released automatically on May 22nd. Once it's released, you're going to get some download links down below here. Meanwhile, there's a soundtrack here. Amazing people that helped me build this game, so you can check the music out. Yeah, it's just screenshots and stuff. You can also check out my other games. For this one, I would recommend for mature audiences. It's a horror game. So yeah. And here is Fast Nairobi actually. You can still get it. It's perfectly free, working. It's free. You can get it on macOS, Android. Yeah, there's a soundtrack there. I hope Calvin Harris does not copyright me. This one was one of the fun ones to make too. It was really fun. Okay. So yeah, I think we're almost done here. It's been taking so long. Come on, Unity. You don't have to. So, yeah, there we go. So it was basically just converting the video into a format that Unity supports. So if I play this, the background video is just screenshots and videos inside the game. So as you can see, I just took videos and screenshots, combined it to one video, and then it's playing the background. These ones are clickable. You can see your controls. I'll open the source code so that you guys can see. I made this. Okay, so let me open for you the source code. If I can just, I hope I changed my text editor. Yeah, it's okay. So why did I keep the code? Where was it? I haven't opened this project in a long time, so that's why I'm trying to figure out stuff. Is it here? Yeah, I found it. So this is the back end of everything. This is what runs what you see behind here. Oops. Let me just expand it and explain to you. I know it looks complicated, but it's not very complicated. It's very simple to understand. You don't have to worry about this. This is generated by Unity. The class also, okay, the class is what holds everything. So as you can see, this bracket starts from there to there. It includes everything. So this is what, let me just explain some of them. So in game development, we can have two variables. It's either public or private. Public just means anyone can access it, and if it's private, only this specific code can access that. So the game object is a type just like any other. You can have game objects, you can have integers, you can have decimals as floats. If I just want to type public int, yeah, it's the same thing. So there's nothing too complicated. You know that these are by the buttons. So menu, you can see pause, controls. So each time you click something, it triggers a function. These are the functions it triggers, and you can of course quit the game. This is what handles the quit. This is what handles loading on the main menu. Then I think there are how many races? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it loads these races. This is what loads the types of races. And then in the city, yeah, that's pretty much it about the code. So let me take you to some of the gameplays, the stuff. That's what even we're here for anyway. So as you can see, there are 4 different races. You can just choose any random. So for example, I choose that one. as I'm racing, as you can see, I'm losing against the opponents. God, come on! I created you, I'm supposed to be good at this. Yes, we've overtaken one. Let me see if I can make it to the end. Come on, let's go. So that's how the game works. Now I'm going to show you just one of the scenes, because every single thing is just replicated onto the same thing. I'm just recycling code by the way. All of the code by this is just recycled. Where was it? And for example, this is the scene we were racing in. If I just go to the first, this BMW M3. That's an M3. So this is how it's set. Let me show you. So of course, as I had explained earlier, you got your camera here, and then you got the car too, the BMW and everything. You got also another camera here to show you the rear view and stuff. And then you've got a Nissan Skyline. Yes, I know I had to include one of my favorite cars. Yeah, okay, the models I know are not very accurate, but yeah, that should be a Nissan Skyline. I'm not very good at modeling, so that should be a Nissan Skyline. The back is even worse. Oh my god, I don't know how to model. But the BMW it's like I model it so perfectly. This light here is just to improve everything else. Did it have I think yeah, as you can see, it's an empty shell. I didn't know how to create the cockpit. So let me explain. This is you, the player, and this is the AI, the artificial intelligence, the computer anyway, that you're going to race against. These are like your opponents. So if I was to explain the code is a bit more, it's long because there's a lot of physics involved. If I was to first of all car controller, then they need a car controller. If I was to show you the code, it's a little bit long, very long, as you can see. Basically just know that it controls the turning, the speed, and every single physics system of the car. If you bump into something will happen. Yeah, this is the entire, it's really long. Some of the code is imported, others it's my own. So yeah, it is a very long code, about how many lines? I think, yeah, 2,300, which I'm not really going to depth really. So where is this one now? This one is for the AI, the opponent you're racing against. Basically it's the same thing, just that it uses a system where it can see things, like you can see it uses a raycast. So let me get paint here and explain to you what a raycast is. Okay, so say you have an enemy here. I'm going to name this one enemy, or the best artist, but yeah, I'll try enemy. So what I did was tell the code to shoot an imaginary line and acts like vision. This is like the vision. It's called a raycast. I'll just type it out. Raycast. Yeah. So this raycast here is what actually controls how the opponents will see the road and stuff. So say if there's an obstacle here, all I do is just tell the code, tell this guy to divert and then get back in line over here again, and that's how it uses raycasts to see stuff. It just avoids till it gets to where it is. So this is how artificial intelligence works. It's really amazing. You should check out raycasts. Raycasts are actually what have made all my games. For example, in first person, say this is a gun. Yeah, so that's a gun. If I shoot to an array, if I use a raycast here, I can tell the raycast, hey, if this thing meets an enemy, tell it to reduce life. Or die. Yeah, and by die I just mean destroy the game object. So yeah, so this is basically it. Yeah, so that and then the rest of the scenes are just like this, the same way, the same design, same workflow, same everything. Yeah, the sky is just a painting actually. That's why you don't see it move. You see, I can't even edit it. Just a painting, I added it on. Yeah, that's probably it. But for now, I want to explain to you on, since most people ask me about game engines, I'm going to just explain a bit of it. Okay, so a game engine, think of it like a framework. And a framework here just simply means it provides you all the tools that you need to make a game. If it's the phase, basically I can divide the game engine into three. It handles three things. In fact, most apps have this. It's logic, audio, and I'll drag a crochet here, and physics and graphics. Yeah, physics is under graphics. So think of a game engine like that. Handles these three components here: graphics, audio, and logic. That is what a game engine is for. It's like Photoshop for designers. Yeah, this is like our place where we design things. So logic, it handles all these things. That's what a game engine is. That's why it's called an engine. That's why when you see most games, they always show off the engine because they are like trying to hype it towards you. Yeah, so that's what an engine does, and this is an engine right here. It just handles those three things. So another question I always get is, can you make your own engine? Yes, you can, but if you're a beginner, I would highly not advise from it, because creating your own engine means you have to create your own physics system, your own audio system, your own logic and all that, just so that you can create a game. Yes, it's possible, you can, but for beginners I don't recommend it, because heavy task, and it also involves a lot of coding. So if you're not used to it, yeah, it could probably, yeah. I tried making my own engine once, and then the only thing that it had so many bugs, I couldn't even. The physics system worked so weirdly. Like if a person jumped, he would jump 3 meters high, and that's not logical because a person can jump 3 meters high. So that's why I decided. The only reason why I would recommend you to create your own game engine is if the engine that is out there is not offering what your game needs, and as a beginner you're not planning to make the next GTA 5. In fact, you can't make the next GTA 5 because GTA 5 they spent about 200 million, and there's a whole development team behind it. So you can't make a GTA 5 game, a game like GTA 5, because it requires a lot of people, experience, and you're just an independent game developer. So let me add this into summary. Making an engine is good, you only need, but buying or getting one for free will save you hundreds of time doing stuff that isn't probably worth it. So I would recommend getting one, and there's so many good engines. It's not just Unity and this one I just showed you, Unreal. There's Game Maker, which I started with, and there's also Cry engines. I mean, variety of them. So yeah, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Check out the video while the voice coming out.